Initiating sequence 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. Assuming control of the Red Moon. Plotting destination Cua. Location classified. ETA T-minus 50 minutes. Scanning.
Well, somehow things just get worse and worse. It always seems like our foes are one step ahead of us, and I don't like it. I have no idea how many other people are involved in this. What even is it? Conspiracy? Conspiracy to do what? Show up the icons or something? I don't even care anymore. All I know is now these bastards are messing with my whole family. Not content to just mess with my sister. Well, that's fine. That's just fine. It's like my father says. You don't draw the blade first, but we certainly cut the last throat. I'm gonna get Aisha back, and these bastards are going to pay. One way or another. This is Red Moon Roleplaying.
The nobleman's house guards are lunging towards the stairs as the rest of the guests let out a collective scream, and the wealthier partygoers' bodyguards get information around their clients. As Leod's guards near their master, they also suddenly fall to the ground, turning the elevated platform by the head tables into a massacre as blood splatters across the white linen. The adjudicator gets into cover behind a nearby column and shouts to you to do the same, as the bulk of the crowd starts to flee towards the nearest exit. Leod is lying alone and bleeding on the steps.
I grab the arm of the kid and I throw myself behind cover as well, getting the beautifully crafted carbine out.
The adjudicator yells to you, "We have to go!" And there's just screams all around you. And she begins moving towards the exit.
Can I still see the soothsayer?
You lost her, she's gone.
I look to see if I can find her, and if I don't, I can't. I start to run towards the exit and try to, snatch up the others on the way out, back out.
Yes, during the start of the chaos, I just grabbed my friend and I just started making my way to that exit. I'm hoping to play off the chaos and, being a little savvy, try and get out quickly. I didn't even stop when the captain went or Pig. I just kept going.
Yes, you do exactly that. And this is where your disguise comes into the picture. It's not a particularly good disguise, is it? Your friend suddenly collapses. She's been shot in the spine. And you hear how she screams and she falls over. She's screaming.
I duck to cover myself, kind of get her body, and I'm just looking like, who could have shot her? And okay, I mean, it didn't fit her very well, but it still completely covered what she looked like. Why would they have just shot someone at random? I'm looking like, who's shooting people at random?
No one's shooting people at random. It seemed to be shooting very specific people, at least in this case, because no one else around there is shot.
And now there's chaos and crowds everywhere. I mean, can I roll observation just to see if I got anything?
You can, yes. She's whimpering and she's pulling at your clothes.
No successes. No, there's just too much going on.
She seems to want to grab your attention.
Baga, what the hell? And I go over and I try to put pressure on her wound. What's going on?
Forgive me. Put a stop to this. The Sulmahal Palace in the Sultra marshes. That's where they're going. That's where they're going.
The Sulmahal Palace in the Sultra marshes. And I try to look over. Is there anything I can do to save her?
And you begin applying Medicurgy then, I suppose. Are you going to try and do it here, or are you going to try and get out first?
I'm looking to Carlo to try and help me get her out.
I reach down, take the mask off her, put it on myself. I say, Pig, we haven't got time. I'm sorry. And I just disappear.
Damn it. I try to help her anyway.
She's hit in the spine. This is fatal. You might be able to carry her out, but you don't think she's going to survive this.
Yeah, okay, she's done for. Well, I'm gonna flick out an M dose that I had hidden in my boot, and I'm gonna inject it into her just to relieve her of the pain and get ease her into it, I guess.
Yes, you do that. And she closes her eyes and falls into a final slumber. And the Judicator is motioning for you to move towards the exit. Come on, we have to go.
And I run after her. Shit.
You move, and you're all moving together with this crowd towards this exit. And you are through it to the other side when a loud bang, an explosion rips the entrance, and the world becomes a nightmare of blood and body parts, and your ears are ringing. There's a bomb that's gone off.
I sort of wait. Seems like I lost consciousness for a moment. I find myself on the floor, and I just... What's happened? Like, how bad a bomb are we talking?
There's scores of people are lying dead there around the entrance. And Farouk, as this explosion has gone off, you feel this connection again, and you find yourself standing on your knees and looking into the void, and this searing, stabbing pain is overwhelming you, and you hear voices that are chanting in Salosi, and they speak, and they say, "We carry your crown within us, your suffering, our actions, our hands, your blades. In the name of the martyr, we separate darkness from light." And you can also hear a monotonous song, a shielding prayer. The stabbing feeling ceases, the pain disappears, and the song becomes single notes. And the song goes, "The butterfly's wings shadow the horizon. The pain of birth awaits us. Between moments lived and moments lost. The mirror defines the distance between reflected and reflection." The Judicator got you out of that nightmarish bloodbath in front of Leo Dolkosser's gates. Whatever happened there, the panic, the confusion, it at least allowed you to get away, mostly unscathed. You were not directly in the explosion itself. You got dust thrown at you and ringing ears, but aside from that, you were unscathed. And you have your location of where you needed to go next, the Sulmahal Palace and the Sultra marshes. The way there goes across the water, because taking a ship, while possible, is something that would be very, very risky. It would be spotted rather easily, especially if you're dealing with the Order of the Pariah, which the Judicator has been very clear about. This must be the Order of the Pariah, and they have high technology, they have the resources, so a low-tech approach is the best. And she's wearing her armor, complete with the symbol of her station, a stylized star with the points cloven and folded to the sides on this dark uniform. And she's briefed you on the area, about what are the Sultra marshes, really. So they're located northeast of the monolith in what used to be one of the planet's most fertile regions. Many of the Ramishas branches run through the plateaus surrounding the valley, concentrating nutrients and minerals here and filling the Sultra with exuberant life and vegetation. People from across the horizon actually came here to create a future for themselves, as the place seemed so obviously blessed by the icons. But disaster struck, and the valley was turned into a place of death and despair. In Coriolis Cycle 57, which is not that long ago, the lost Foundation research vessel Abdusala was found drifting in border space after more than a decade in dark space. The ship was intact and some of her crew still in stasis, although most of the pods were empty and their occupants no longer on board. The Abdusala was taken to a dockyard closer to the system core, and the remainder of her crew were sent to the Foundation's hospital for the treatment and study of hypersickness in the Sultra. It soon became obvious that most of the survivors had suffered massive psychological trauma as a result of their long sleep, but all records of their treatment have been classified by the Foundation. Rumors say that they displayed a wide range of disturbing deviations from normal human behavior, but also that the hospital staff were sometimes baffled by their razor-sharp perception and insight. The catalyst for the disaster that ultimately made this area inhospitable was a dam disaster. The captain of the Abdusala, Yassin Sabah, convinced the hospital staff that the group should be allowed to visit the nearby dam, Cataract 27. Later that evening, the floodgates opened and the dam collapsed. Rumors further claim that when the first responders, a colonial marine squadron, arrived, they found dead bodies sitting in a half-circle around a singing Yassin Sabah. The cause of death was found to be a massive heart attack in all cases. Yassin was alive, but she had clawed her eyes out and burned off her ears. Everything about the investigation into what happened at the dam and regarding the current whereabouts of Yassin is classified and only known to senior special branch officers. So, with all of this happening, people stopped going to the Sultra marshes, for very, very good reason. But we have to get there, the adjudicator says. We have to stay low. They might spot a ship, but they won't spot a small boat. So you're moving through the waters for hours. The boy is still with you. The adjudicator has looked at you a number of times, Pig, but simply shrugged and allowed it to continue. It seems important to you, after all. The waters slowly darken with strange algae and patches of high reeds that are slowing your craft down. Tiny islands have formed around the chimneys of the sunken factories, and gas pockets let out nauseating puffs of toxic smoke from below. The balconies and domed roofs of the tallest buildings protrude from the water, overgrown by the labyrinthine roots of the maroc trees. And it is as you have now reached quite far into the Sultra that the adjudicator, and probably you as well, Carlo, you notice that your radios are jammed.
Unfortunate. I've been in a very dour mood for the entire journey, and I haven't really discussed it with anyone. I'm, of course, doubly concerned about what happened at the banquet. Number one, I have no idea if... I hope those individuals are okay, but I have absolutely no idea at this moment in time. Also, I've discussed with the adjudicator that we're going to be in a lot of trouble if we don't do things quickly now, because the Astraban will definitely be at probably that incident right now, combing it with a fine-tooth comb, and if they trace us, well, the adjudicator's going to be in a lot of trouble, as are all of us. Me perhaps the least, maybe, but still, I've actually, funnily enough, given Pig some slack. I've simply said, yes, keep the boy with us. Of course, that's because I know that now, leaving the boy behind, he could easily be picked up and be used against us, so it's good we're all sticking together. As we're approaching, I remarked to the others, okay, well that's fine, no radio. We just need to get into this place, and out of interest, adjudicator, what's the plan to get us out of here? Because once we've found what we need to find and kill people, which I assure you is going to be happening, how are we getting out of here quickly?
I have ships ready. We just need to be able to reach through. We need to cancel out the jamming somehow. I also have a swarm of drones that are ready to strike. So we just need to find the jamming station and make sure that signals can get through. Before that, of course, we need to find out what's happened to the stasis beds. Where did they take the emissary? After that, we'll let hell loose.
One thing's for sure, Captain. The Order of the Pariah are fucked. They've just attacked several major Zenithian families. Fucking maniacs. The Coriolis, I wouldn't be surprised if their whole bloody place gets attacked.
And the adjudicator nods to you. Yes, the Order of the Pariah, they're insane. They deserve everything that's coming to them. We have to stop them.
I'm not sure we will be in time.
What do you mean?
I'm just... I don't know what will happen if we're not in time, and I think maybe time's running up. We need to hurry.
Yes, I agree. Pig, good news. This time, once the shooting starts, you can shoot anyone. Just shoot people. I don't care. These fuckers, they're probably going to blow themselves up if we don't shoot them anyway. And yeah, glad you brought the kid. He's going to be really useful in this intense gunfight.
And, yeah, speaking of shooting, I've been sitting there for the last few hours. How long have you been going?
You've been going for maybe 6 hours now?
Yeah. For the last 1 hour at least, I've been sitting there with a big cloth rolled out on the barge, showing the kid exactly every minute part of this legionary carbine AL3, which I've been very curious to pick apart for a long time, only having read about them in articles and seen them, of course, demonstrated on some of my favorite gun shows. But now I've finally got my chance to pick it apart, and I've been sitting there with him, telling him what everything does, and oohed and ahed over the magnificence of the parts, and how she's even made some special modifications, this gunsmith, which every time I think of her, it kind of stings a bit, especially because she was a tech, she was a modified one. I would have loved to get a hand on her eye and had a look at that as well. It's such a shame we couldn't bring her out. Putting it back together, as we have been going now, and as he says this about shooting, I say, yeah, speaking of which, here you go, Carlo. Happy birthday, and I hand over the carbine to you.
I look a little distracted, oh. Sure, Pig, thanks. That's good, but listen, Pig. You know how when our Heem wanted you to do something back in Bay Basin and suddenly you were on it? We need you here now. None of this, guns, or look after the boy. This is serious. We have to do this quick, or we are fucked. Like I said, the Asterban are going to want to speak to all of us about what the hell we're doing involved in this. They're not going to care about the icon.
And I'm sniggering a bit to myself, thinking if he had seen my actual dialogues with Jasmine and Rakeen, he wouldn't have been so confident about me being a professional. But I just nod and say, yeah, sure, Carlo. Yeah, I'll be as sharp as a blade. And I check my other things and make sure my accelerator rifle is properly masked.
Also, Captain, are you going to be alright with, I think at this stage it's safe to say these guys, if we give them a chance, they're going to shoot us, blow themselves up. That seems to be what they do every time. So none of that moral stuff. We got to get our people, get the emissary, and get out of here.
Carlo, kill the Selosian bastards.
I actually smile a little at that and go, yes, Captain, I will.
I pick up the accelerator rifle and I start looking around in the scope at what we're passing by, trying to find anything out of interest.
You can see these cracked concrete spires and bent durabeams from an old factory protrude from the water like the broken ribs of some ancient leviathan. And you spot a long canoe tethered to one of the beams, and through the scope of the accelerator rifle you see a faint light deep in the water.
There's some boat up ahead. There's a light in the water.
As if someone's diving there.
It's peculiar. Maybe someone looking for treasure.
What kind of boat?
It's a canoe. Probably Segoyan. Why are they diving though?
Probably trying to make a living of some sort.
Adjudicator, let's maybe sail around that.
The adjudicator nods and you move past the long canoe. And after many hours in this dark swamp, the Sul Mahala and the broken cataract dam appear out of the mist, Hundreds of tiny brooks and waterfalls from the northern plateau cut through the ruins in the valley. The water becomes shallower, and when the palace's towers and aqueducts dominate the view ahead, your boat reaches shore. Moss-covered trees and bushes grow among the once beautiful marble benches and pavilions.
I gotta give them credit, they chose a good place. People aren't gonna come here if they don't have to. Stories are pretty unpleasant.
Low walls and paths run through this area, but the tasteful landscaping has been turned into an overgrown maze by the flood. This must be the palace gardens, the ring of terraces and architectural marvels that used to be the heart of the Sultra. Several of the terraces have collapsed, and the road up to the palace is covered in thick undergrowth and loose gravel and mud. The ground looks steady, but has been hollowed out in many places and might collapse. It's a bit of a... Yes, it doesn't feel great. Farouk, you have heard stories about the Sultra. You told many stories among the courtesans, of course. It's part of that art. You have read about a prophecy connected to the Sultra. Many hundreds of years ago, Prince Mahala Abdalak used the Sol Mahala Palace as a summer residence, and the gardens were home to fantastic birds, said to sing in perfect harmony ever since the day the prince met his beloved Sharim. After an incident involving the prince's brother, Alak, Mahala had Sharim executed, and all the birds suddenly fled the gardens. Their final song contained a prophecy saying that all things the prince had built and cherished would one day be destroyed. And you can see with your own eyes now how that prophecy has become fulfilled.
If the others aren't saying anything, I tell them this story as we pass beneath the ruins.
Wonderfully poetic, Captain.
And true it seems, as we can see.
Question is, this is a very large location. Please tell me now you're actually getting one of those useful, this is where we go feelings, because I'd really like one of those right now.
Silver Palace. Do we know? We got a location about where it is, right?
Yes, you know where the Sol Mahala Palace is, and you have arrived here. You are in the gardens just outside. You can see the central tower, not far from here. It's protruding from this flooded area, basically.
I look to Pig and say, yes, Pig, we know it's here, but where? We don't have hours to look for every single little ruin. Like, is it in that big central tower? Is it underneath it? Again, the captain seems to now have a sense of where the emissary's been. Can you feel anything?
I close my eyes and concentrate, try to reach out.
Your skin crawls and the world seems grey and distant. A monotonous chanting grows steadily until it cuts like knives in your ears. Through the grey mist you see 3 ghostly silhouettes approaching, dressed in long white gowns. A monotonous chanting grows steadily until it cuts like knives in your ears. And suddenly you hear a faint song emanating from inside yourself. The soft words force the ghosts to retreat, and you slowly begin to understand the song. The fragments come together, 1,000 faces for the shadows. My children, my beloved, hear my song and become it. In your darkest hour, hear my song and defend it. Sing, brothers, sing, sisters, sing it. And the pain intensifies nonetheless until it becomes unbearable, and the shielding song turns into a cry of pain. You feel as if you're being flayed alive, and you find yourself collapsing on the ground here in the palace gardens.
What? Shh! What you... sort of try to hush him up while I'm sitting down on the floor.
We need to... I think tears are streaming down my eyes, actually. I think I'm so scared. I'm so afraid. We need to move. We need to move now.
seeing that my captain, the one who's leading us, is losing faith so much, it gets me really upset. I take up the accelerator rifle and I start looking around for any signs of hostiles moving in or anything like that.
It's quiet. It's eerily quiet. You see the balconies of the central tower that are still protruding. They are accessible up ahead. That is perhaps a way into the palace.
Did this leave me with any sense of direction, or just this unbearable pain?
The energies are coming from the central tower up ahead. That is where.
I start running.
I blink. I was about to go and try and help the captain up and say something, but then they just start running, and I'm like, oh, I don't understand this mystic stuff. All right, adjudicator, I guess we're going that way. And I get my carbine ready.
You come into these ruins of the central tower in the palace interior. You're moving through it. It's completely quiet. There's a strange hissing sound that can be heard somewhere, though. You can't really tell from where it's coming. It's wide, dark chasms here, winding marble stairs. Everything's kind of slippery and wet. There's vines and thorns that suck tainted life from the dark waters and climb the broken pillars toward the broken stained glass windows above. The air is thick with dust and soot. And you're moving through this central tower, and the stairs are going down from the top balconies where you were. And Farouk, you're leading them ahead. Pig, there's a coal statue here in front of you. There's many of them. It's as if the soot has formed figures. They look human. Very peculiar. The boy moves up to touch one of them. What do you do?
What did you say, a coal statue?
Yeah, as if the soot has come together and formed like a statue.
I move behind him as he does this, having my accelerator rifle clenched to my chest to see what happens.
He's going to touch it. Are you going to allow him to do that?
Wait up, hang on.
And he stops.
I come up and I want to look closer at it before he touches it.
It looks human, as if it has formed a shape. These shapes, these statues, they're in different poses, as if it's different moments in life, or perhaps in death, as if it's the final reflections of the ghosts of this palace.
Peculiar. I fulfill what he was about to do, though I poke it with the nozzle of my accelerator rifle.
It disintegrates on touch, and it becomes just ash.
And I look down at the boy and I widen my eyes and I say, ooh, that's ominous.
And Farouk, you can hear sounds, you can hear Solosian voices. You know that language now. From up ahead, there's many of them.
I slow my pace and I draw my sword as I wait for the others to catch up.
Adjudicator comes up as well. She has her carbine out.
They're over there. I think they're... I just pray to the icons that we are not late. I think they're gonna kill it. Her. Him.
The emissary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta kill them.
Can be done. All right.
If they haven't already.
It's just strange that they took all this time to do it. Why bring it all the way out here? Some kind of ritual?
Probably to justify what they're doing in their own eyes, making it some kind of elaborate spectacle. It makes it justified, I guess.
And I just think to myself, well, I hope they succeed so we don't have to do that later.
Well, I just wonder why the hell it also coincided with them blowing up fucking Del Quasar. Whatever, okay, let's just duck forwards and be careful. Again, these people have good snipers, it seems. I have no idea how the hell they spotted that slave. Somehow they did.
The noises are coming from a room up ahead that has high ceilings resting on pillars. There's about 10 figures in here. They look very similar to the ones that you saw on Coriolis, most of them armed and armored in the same way that the martyrs there were. You can hear Solosi speech. There's 2 large trees that grow in the middle of this room. Strange that trees would grow so quickly, but that's what's happened. They're supporting the cracked outer wall that looks like it's about to collapse. The crowns of the trees are supporting the collapsing roof and the outer wall. And you can see out from there, out through the palace. This is not underground, this is above ground somehow. There's tarps suspended from the higher branches that provide cover from rain for some assorted technical gear and a fusion unit that's next to one of the trees. Looks to be something that looks like a telescope there that's pointed outwards. And then, yes, perhaps some kind of laser communicator, Carlo. You've seen those before. They should be able to break through the jamming. There's also a very large humming piece of technology next to the fusion unit. It looks very powerful, whatever it is.
Up there, that's where we need to get to. If I can get up there, we can maybe start disabling some stuff, and then you can call in the cavalry, so to speak. Judicator.
The Judicator nods, and she motions towards that big humming unit over there. That is the jammer. I can call in the drone swarm if we can deactivate it. They should surrender when that happens, and then we can get some answers.
Judicator, did you not learn anything from Coriolis? They're not going to surrender, not willingly. We're going to need to practically have them down on the ground before they do.
Well, then that's what we shall have to do, isn't it? Can one of you get up there? In this armor, I'm not sure that I'm such a good choice for moving up and deactivating the unit. We just need to reach through. You know that they're very pious, right? They will stop to pray. I'm certain of that.
Yeah, that's the one good thing they got going for them. I put the accelerator rifle on my back and I start trying to climb up there.
You find a space where you have a good overview of what is happening. Are you going to try to sneak up on it now, or are you going to wait until something changes?
How does it look currently?
Right now they're moving around working, and they're moving some boxes around, and they seem to be getting ready for something. You can't really tell what, though.
Pig. Maybe give them a few more... Let's just wait. If they're doing something where their attention's focused on, it will be easier to sneak up there. Let's just give it a few seconds.
I'm looking at my communicator at the time, see how close we are to prayer time, just like the Judicator suggested.
Yes, it's not long now. Just maybe another 10 minutes or so. Will you wait?
Yeah, I would.
And you and the boy are waiting there, looking at what is happening. And they do indeed start praying. An eternity seems to pass before it. And during that time you hear noises. You hear strange moaning noises coming from the rest of the palace. Dark whispers from the past. But finally, the martyrs, the members of the Order of the Pariah, because it certainly looks like that's who they are, they move up to the altar, form a half circle around it. They hold each other's hands, and then they fall into prayer. This would be your chance, Pig.
Eeriness of this place. I look down at the unit and I start trying to deactivate it.
Alright, I'm going to need you to get an infiltration move and then a technology roll.
Well, I shall assist Pig as I would have moved with them as they began their, stealthy approach, so I shall roll to assist. 1 success.
I fail on my infiltration roll.
You want to pray to the icons?
I do pray to the dancer, yes. To keep me steady, my feet silent. I get 2 successes.
Excellent. You are as the darkness here, and you've moved up to this this jamming unit that's placed here. Now, you have a choice here, basically. You can turn it off, which is rather easy, or you can keep it on but limit its jamming spectrum, which will be a little bit more difficult.
And how could that help us exactly?
Well, if someone came to inspect the unit, they would see that it's still on. If it's turned off, then anyone coming to check it would see that, well, hey, someone's turned this off, what's going on?
I'm taking out my advanced tools from my tool belt, and I'm deciding to take the difficult route with this one. Let's try and get this properly done. Okay, technology -1. It's 2 successes again.
Then, yes, you're able to limit the jamming spectrum while keeping it on. Well, that's curious. This is, the Order of the Pariah has plenty of tech themselves. This is a Zenithian military model jamming unit. It's only used by tactical forces and elite units. Why would that be here?
That's funny. Then again, I guess if they got Legion-style rifles... Zenithian one. Is there any other sign I can see now overlooking them and what's going on that indicates that there's something like that involved?
Not specifically. They're dressed very much like the Order of the Pariah are dressed. They have their weapons. So no.
Well, I start making my way back to the others.
Alright, I want you to roll another infiltrate to get away.
I look to Farouk as if like it's done.
I motion to you, like, thumbs up or something. And then think I actually turn to the adjudicator. Should we move closer?
She has noticed that it's been done, and she's beginning to touch her little tabula, and she seems to be calling the drones in. And she holds up a finger.
I turn back to you, and I'm like... I point to the skies and yeah, I don't know any military hand signs, but I desperately try to make it look like you should probably take cover or something.
I kind of interpret the adjudicator's actions, not the captain's, to mean take cover, and I just nod to Pig and say, all right, Pig, when the drones come down, we'll just start shooting people. Let's get into this place and find our people.
And I get 2 successes.
Alright, then you move quickly and you move quietly. And that is good, because you make it back just in time to hear the sound of rocket engines that are firing, and lights coming from up in the sky down towards this room. There's a swarm of missiles incoming. And rocks fly, there's dust, the world becomes dark. And you're thrown to the ground. The outpost, it's burning. The trees incinerated by the white phosphorus. Everything's buried in rubble and debris. You are fortunately far away enough that you can sort of look at this happening, but it's complete destruction. There's no intention for surrender, that much you can tell.
I jolt at the big explosions as they start going off, and then I start searching through the scope of any stragglers or survivors.
You see one of the martyr soldiers that's on fire, screaming. You can't tell if it's a man or a woman. They're just flames. They bring up their sidearm and discharges it at the side of their own head.
And I released my hand from the trigger, looking up and seeing that was the last one of them. Well, so much for subtlety. I guess this is time to move in, hey?
You find yourself coughing from all the dust. You're all still alive, though. The adjudicator is gone, though.
Wait, what? I kind of blink a little and I'm like, what?
Gone?
Where's the... Kosha, where the hell's she gone?
Kosha?
You look around and you look above, now that the roof of this place is gone. You see the darkening sky above you. You see the stars slowly becoming visible one by one. Your breath suddenly hangs in clouds before you as the mist turns cold. much colder than what should be possible in the Kuan jungles. You feel your chests tightening as a wave of fear and anxiety washes over you. And as you turn to look up, you see it. A hazy apparition illuminating the ruins of the Sultra. A white butterfly in the darkness. Its great wings seem to bend light around them in an impossible way, and it ascends like no other ship you've seen before, for this is a spaceship of some kind. For a moment it seems to hang motionless above the trees, and then the wings come alive with brightly glowing, perfectly symmetrical glyphs, like blood vessels filled with liquid light. A halo of light forms around the ship as it sets off for the dark void, leaving Kua. But going where?
I don't say anything. I look to the stars, completely stunned, and I just sort of mutter to Farouk, "What's going on? What in the name of the icons is that?"
Kosha's gone. We better go back. We better proceed, right? See if there's anything left for us.
Yeah, we need to find the others, the Aisha and the Mystics.
I kind of focus on that, because that makes sense, and I jump out of cover and I just start trying to make my way forward into this enclave. Now it's been completely missiled, I'm guessing, I try and find a place to go.
Yes, the outpost has been completely destroyed, but you see lights coming from somewhere further away, out in the jungle there. There's another building there. Another set of ruins. And, Farouk, you instinctively know that this is where the emissary is waiting.
Come here, this way. I start running again.
Right. Come on.
I just follow. I don't seem to have anything to say. My mind is racing because I don't understand. You shot at them, and then suddenly a giant, freaking weird spaceship took off. But from where? Or was that already there? Was that what fired the missiles? I just follow.
You look above and you see those drones that are moving around in the sky now as well. Those must have been the Judicator's drones. They would have been the ones firing the missiles. That ship, it was something else. Something else. This building that you come to, this must be the hospital. The hospital where those people were being treated. This institute. It is, it's got marble stairs and everything is... It's a very beautiful building that's just been ruined by everything that happened here. There's light coming from within it.
It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? If those people that they were keeping here that long ago were mystics, and, well, the pariah doesn't look kindly upon mystics. If they were trying to, stop it or cure them, then it kind of makes sense that the pariah, the Order of the Pariah, is here with this and doing everything.
I suppose, but why did we go... What was that, their main group? I start looking around because I'm wondering, where the reinforcements are. I am expecting... I say to the others, why aren't they running out the building? We've just blown up a whole landing bay or whatever they were doing there. Where are the rest of them?
You can't see anyone else. It seems like that attack must have taken out, well, at the very least, the most of them. There's no other signs of activity, aside from the lights coming from this building.
Maybe the rest just left on that ship.
You think that's linked to the Solosians, that ship?
You've never seen that kind of technology before. Not even the Solosians have something like that. Well, at least not something that they've shown. They are clearly in possession of very advanced tech, but this looks beyond whatever you've seen in the Third Horizon.
It's hard to tell. They are good at keeping secrets, aren't they?
Well, Captain, I look a little frustrated as I remark to you, what were they even doing? What? We just caught them at the moment they were getting ready for some sort of event, and we bombed them all to hell, and Now the Judicator's gone. I don't understand why the Judicator is gone.
Can't you call her? You do have a channel to her, don't you?
Actually, the signal is up again, isn't it? That's true. I start trying to signal the Judicator.
You're not getting through.
Alright, I suppose we need to... If the Mystics are in here, then we go in and we get them out. I just don't understand. Like, there's something... I don't like the way this has all been going, Captain. There's things happening that imply there's a lot more going on than we're being told.
Of course, there's something about this kosher... but we don't have time to dwell on that now. We need to get there. We need to get them. We need to save them.
Yeah, answers are probably all inside, I hope.
And you enter the hospital, then I take it. The boy is still with you. He looks up at you. He has remained very calm throughout all of this. And in the dark room that you first enter, a contorted body lies motionless on a steel bed. Medical apparatuses line the walls. Dirty tools, candles, and incense burners are scattered across a couple of Slosian prayer rugs on the worn floor. The large windows are covered, but a domed skylight lets in a little starlight from above, illuminating a whirling snowfall of dust and ash in the heavy silence. The body on the bed is on its back and partly clothed in a simple white Mirren formal dress. The limbs and facial expression are twisted in a final pose full of pain and despair. Steel bed is cracked, and a fine mesh of cracks in the floor seem to emanate from it. The machinery along the walls is broken and thrown about with bits of plaster from the ceiling lying here and there. It looks as if all loose objects in the room have been pushed away from its center by a powerful shockwave. The body on the bed looks crackled and is covered with a fine grey-white powder like ash. The cracks in the dry skin run along the slim, androgynous body up to the face, where the open mouth and the empty eye sockets have expelled a dark, strange substance that's now dried. Before you lies that which once was one of the ghosts from Zini, the observer at the council, the messenger icon, Nabi Mukad. But now, only a lifeless husk remains. As you stand above the emissary's mummified body, the steel bed suddenly begins to shake, and the suit in the air forms a whirlwind above the body. A shrill, high note intensifies inside you, blocking out other sounds, and you feel yourselves start to vibrate. A throbbing headache sets in, and your skin begins to crawl as the whirlwind of soot and dust suddenly envelops you. Farouk, you hear loud chanting as the vibrations intensify. Suddenly it appears as if your body and the room vibrate in harmony, and you experience a moment of perfect stillness. Fire bursts forth from the emissary's dark eyes and mouth, and you are blinded by a bright light as the ground beneath your feet disappears and you are transported somewhere far away. You all regain your senses, surrounded by the terraced fields and high crops. Farther down in the lush green valley, you see a small group of white spherical buildings in perfect rows. Two pale suns chase each other across the blue sky. On the horizon, 3 enormous ziggurats reach for the heavens. You can hear a wind chime somewhere in the distance, and you hear singing behind you, and spot someone approaching you across the field. The song is in a foreign tongue, but it moves you deeply. The singer, on the other hand, seems quite ordinary. A short, androgynous-looking person dressed in a long yellow robe with simple floral embroideries in white and gold, held together at the waist with 3 white ribbons. A red shawl covers the shoulders. A simple hat in many colors protects the shaved head from the sun, and tattoos of scrolling vines on the foreheads and cheeks, contrasted in gold against the black skin, frame a friendly smile in a weathered face. The singer bows courteously and addresses you, leaning on a short walking stick. We meet at last. You must pardon me the circumstances, but my vessel has been destroyed and can no longer speak for me. I was able to repair both the damage from the gas giant's fumes and withstand the martyr's futile attempts at torture. But it would seem that our ancient nemesis finally caught up with me. The singer looks up toward the hastily darkening sky. A thunderstorm comes rolling down the mountainsides and the wind picks up as a gentle rain begins to fall. We don't have much time. The enemy have advanced their plans much further than expected. The Tawan incident was just the beginning. The white butterfly will continue to chip away at the barricade you built all those years ago. Its agents are awakening and my siblings are in danger. We had hoped to reach you sooner, but the song wasn't strong enough. Together we hope to stir your forgotten memories and ready you for the coming storm, but the winged shadow threatens everything. Will you fall too, like I have? I am but an echo of my true self, a winged songbird whose frail notes only live in the vibrations of temple windows, in the heaving breath of marble floors, and in the sighing of the wind. Without the others, the song will never be strong enough, and without the song, there is no hope for the third horizon. The clouds above are suddenly lit up brightly from behind, and a deafening bang reverberates throughout the valley. The singer looks up and then turns to you again with a troubled look in the piercing eyes. The butterfly sought to destroy me by sapping energy from the darkness. Something is about to break through. We will meet again, but you must return home now. The singer bows again, a blinding flash of light later. You find yourselves back at the hospital in the Sultra, next to the emissary's dead body. The air above the bed vibrates, and an impossible crack appears at the heart of the vibrations, around which light seems to ripple and bend. A powerful wind roars through the room as the rip widens, and flaps of darkness unfold, fluttering like flags in the storm. The emissary's body is torn to shreds as if it was a slip of paper, and the dark flaps gather to form a grotesque entity crowned in a halo in all the colors of the rainbow. A creature of absolute darkness hisses at you, evoking primordial memories of everything mankind has ever feared. And you feel yourselves falling to the ground, and an oppressive darkness begin overtaking your mind, drenching your every sense. I would like you all to take 3 points of stress.
I'm going to lift my gun and shoot the thing. I'm going to shoot it. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to shoot this thing.
The thing of darkness above us?
Yes.
Yeah, as you do it, I start doing it as well. With my Vulcan pistol.
Can I still remember the song?
You can remember the song, yes. You begin trying to remember the words. Meanwhile, Pig, you and Carlo, you can fire.
I get 1 success.
I roll 1 success, and with my point blank, that's enough success, and I do then a critical hit, which is 1 extra damage, so I get 6 damage.
Yes, and the armor of this one cancels out 6.
And I just start firing on this thing, and nothing seems to be working. And my mind unravels.
Yes, as you take another 3 in stress and lose 3 mind points.
Yeah, I did 2 damage with my pistol.
It cancels out 4. And you take 3 stress and another 3 mind points. As you do that, as the darkness overcomes you, as it lashes out against those that are attacking it.
I just scream at this whole thing, at the whole thing that has been happening. It's just overwhelming, seeing this thing just lying there, the blackness coming out of its mouth, the flames bursting, the vision that we just saw. It's overwhelming, and now the only thing that flies through my mind, if this is truly a depiction of the icons, then the only enemy I could think of, it's the true darkness between the stars. And the darkness here seems to be what's manifesting, and now that has been seeping out through the emissary. I don't know how we're gonna defeat this thing.
And Farouk, you remember the words gradually, and you hear the chanting beginning again within you. The emissary, it is whispering to you. You can stop it. You can stop it. Sing. Release all that is within you. You will save them. But it will be the last thing that you do.
I start singing. The fragments come together, 1,000 faces for the shadows. My children, my beloved, hear my song and become it. In your darkest hour, hear my song and defend it. Sing, brothers, sing, sisters, sing it.
And a blinding light bathes the hospital, obliterating the darkness and the hospital walls. You see your body illuminated, ephemeral, angelic, Farouk. The darkness, it trembles before you. And Pig and Carlo, when you wake up, the darkness, the emissary's body, and Farouk are gone. It's just the two of you here and the boy. There's more beds in here.
I just collapsed on the floor. Look at the boy. How is he holding up?
He looks afraid for his life, but he crawls up to you and tries to hug you.
Oh, that was messed up. That was the darkness between the stars come to defeat us. And now it's got Farouk. Oh, heavens have mercy.
I just sort of lie on the floor for a bit. I don't know what's happening. My mind has been pushed to the brink. I think maybe I've died. I'm still alive for some reason. I don't say anything to Pig. I just sort of stumble and just start looking around. Are we alone now?
There are more beds in here, and there's another body that has fallen off one of these beds. How does your sister look like?
I mean, she looks an awful lot like one of those women you saw earlier, though she's younger, and unlike her, she would just be dressed in simple, well, whatever the people of Farouk's group were wearing. No makeup, simple long dark hair, features most similar to mine. In fact, almost identical in a way. On an odd way, I suppose. She probably looks the most like me of all my siblings. And I just scramble over to her.
Yes, she's in bad shape. Her guts have been ripped open by this explosion that's happened in here. And Pig, you see it as well. What do? She's got a white cross in her forehead.
I let the kid help me, and I get up. Is that her? Is that Aisha?
Yes. Do something. You need to do something, Pig. Pig, you need to do something.
I fumble for my backpack, and I pull out my med kit, and I run over and I start attending to her, looking over what shrapnels I can pull out and what's better left in for now until we get her to a proper med bay.
Yes. Describe what you're doing.
I am taking out some disinfectant and some bandages, trying to rub away the blood, and I tell Carlo this whole pressure here where I see the blood is flowing out, and I try to see what of these shrapnels are loose that I can get out, and what are lodged in between muscles that are better left alone for now, and then I start to try and cover that which needs to be stabilized.
And you do that, and you stabilize her, and you're looking into the body of a mystic, and you're looking into the secrets that you have been wanting to discover for such a long time, Pig. And here they are, spread out before you.
I see the blood flowing out, and I listen, and I hear her singing as well. There's a beautiful song coming from inside her. I cannot do this here. She must be saved for now, and so that I can bring her to a med bay where I can perform a proper operation. This is my chance.
Yes, and you get her stabilized then.
Yes.
Is she stable, Pig? Is she okay?
I think she's gonna be fine, but we're gonna need to bring her to a proper med bay or a trauma bay if we can. I mean, we need to get the ship in here. We need to get someone here.
I kind of stagger up. I'm trying to think, like, we're in the fucking middle of nowhere. The captain's gone. The adjudicator's gone. We don't even know where our ship is. We did ask the adjudicator to bring it down, but did they? I kind of try and really center myself, but it's almost impossible because I don't really know what's happening. I think we might be screwed.
My communicator's there in that bag. It's I guess it's got a further reach than yours. Maybe you'll be able to call someone or see if the ship's signals are nearby.
I have no idea who to call, but I just use the communicator and I just patch whoever I can. Anything that can go through to get some help.
You call for help, Peg and Carlo, and you move the body of Aisha. She's still alive. She's badly hurt. There's some others in there as well. Some of them are in better shape. And whoever you called, it's worked. And you hear, as you move out of the hospital into the yard in front of it, some hours later, you hear the sounds of some engines that you have missed for a long, long time. You hear the sounds of the red moon as it begins to set down in front of the hospital. The red moon will fly again. You will fly again. But the third horizon will never be the same again.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Mercy of the Icons for Coriolis, which is published by Free League. Joining us in the role of Farouk was our dear friend Jenny Jungevall. The music was created by AlphaZone and Sable Sun and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Please check out cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more of their lovely dark ambient. We also use the official Coriolis soundtrack by Stars on a Black Sea. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Graham Barey, Doug Thomson, and Lily for their generous support. We would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost, Call of Cthulhu, and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay there, as well as binge the rest of Emissary Lost. You can also get early and raw access to all of our recordings and hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that the song leads us to the truth under a great winged shadow.